Hello, ladies and gentlemen, people, sentient beings, and horrific monstrosities of all ages. I'm your host, Mick Bricknett, and you're watching the Blood Bowl Spooky Skull Cup League Analysis. This week sees a clash between the Halflings of the Underground Half-Pints versus the Demons of the League of Extraordinary Annoying Individuals. Once again, I am joined by my fellow reporter and part-time illicit arms dealer, Keith Hospital. I'm not sure where the obsession with these stunty teams comes from, Keith, but surely the coach realizes he's in for a difficult game against the Daemons of Khorne.
Well, Mick, it certainly seems like an uphill battle for the Halflings. Hopefully, though, those trees come into their own and help defend the team's weaker members. And with them bringing along a Halfling Master Chef, I wouldn't count out the Halflings of this game just yet.
Well, those greasy little fuckers always have a pastry or two up their sleeves when it comes to this sport. One of the hardest teams to predict, I would say. And I believe the game has just gone underway. What's going on down there, Keith?
Well, Mick, it's been a terrible start for the L.E.A.I, as their captain, Bloodthirster Karen, has just been KO'd after attempting to tackle a treeman. Looks like that'll be her out for the half at least. I'm not even sure how the coaching staff is actually attempting to revitalise her, possibly through some sort of blood sacrifice, but that's just my theory.
No shit, Keith. You don't chant blood for blood god for nothing. I imagine the Halflings are enjoying being a man up, though. An advantage they definitely need to hang on to.
Well, Keith, I'm afraid it may be commentators cursed in that regard, as Halfling number 3, Michael Payne, has just been sent off for fouling. The coach tried to argue the call, it seems, but the ref is actually going by the rules.
That's absolute nonsense, Keith. Everyone knows the referees and officials purged all the incorruptible from their ranks years ago. Sweet mother of Nuffle, what on earth is happening on the pitch down there, Keith? It looks like a bloodbath.
Mick, I can hardly believe what I am seeing. There is death and destruction across the pitch. Seemingly it started when a pit fighter punched a halfling and sent them off the pitch. After that, the halfling's teammates got involved and started an on-field scuffle, resulting in the death of pit fighter number 7 and a serious injury on pit fighter number 5. Honestly, Mick, I haven't seen such destruction since... well, actually, since last game, really, but it's still pretty bad.
Well, it's always expected in this game to have casualties, but as always, here at the studio, we'd like to pay our respects with a minute's silence. So if you'll all join me, may we honor Chantel the Oblivious. Holy Nurgle's unshaved testicles! The Halflings have scored a touchdown! Keith, what's happening down there?
Mick, I am also in shock. It seems that during the chaos of the on-field scuffle, Halfling catcher Danny the Flyer was able to score a monumental touchdown, bringing the score to 1-0 to the Underground Half-Pints, rounding out the first half in spectacular fashion, Mick.
It's a tremendous half for the Halflings, wouldn't you say, Keith? Okay, we seem to be having some technical issues here. I don't think Keith can hear me properly, but
No, I can hear you just fine, Mick.
Anyway, the team informs me that we managed to catch a coach of the Underground Half-Pints, and we've got a quick interview here with him. So we're live now in the changing rooms with the coach of the Underground Half-Pints, Mr. Kane. Are you there?
We won bloody nil at half time, but you thought you had an easy bloody game, didn't you, you silly mutt? Oh, hold on, boys, come here in. Oh, I'm here. How we doing?
We're doing well. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us, Mr. Kane.
It's no worries, no problem.
So that was quite the half for the Underground Half-Pints. Can you tell us about how it went for you?
Oh, I'll tell you what, that bloody Danny the Flyer, I'm giving him a little kiss on his little toes when we're done with this. Honestly, he's pulled some things out of the bag today.
Yeah, it's been quite the show so far. I'm sure that the boys and Vic must be extremely pleased with the progress they're making in the matchup.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Vic's having a rough time with his dad and all. He's a little bit homophobic, but they'll be happy with it. They will. I'm not sure about Sam as much as his head's got a little fuzzy, but then he was born that way when he so. They'll be pleased with this result. They will.
It's great to hear, I think. So you've had a couple of slip-ups. You've had a sending off in the first half, and then Halflings are kind of renowned for their, and this is a quote from the higher-up saying, dirty, stinking, fouling ways.
Whoa, all right now, I resent that. All right, now you got the replay, right? You got the replay, Mick? Mick, you got the replay? Yeah, put the replay up. Yeah. Okay, we have to take my word for it then, will you? Because if you watch it back, I think he actually ran into his shoe, all right? Someone was tying his laces up upright, and he runs into it head on. It's no dirty playing it. They're good lads. They play a good game, you know?
Of course, Mr. Kane. So, obviously, you've had a stellar first half. Do you have any plans to continue that in the second half? What are your sort of tactics?
Yeah, as long as they hang on to this, they'll be all right. I reckon strong defence at this point, and we've got this in the bag. We're not playing silly buggers here. 1-0 will do us just fine.
That's good to hear. Keep things conservative. Do you have any players that you're watching out for on the opposition team for the second half?
Well, I was worried about that big old Karen, but we saw to that, didn't we? Eh? So, that Linda's been giving us some looks. So I've had a word with Billy, and we're gonna give her a taste of the old size 12 and see if we can get her off the pitch this half.
Of course, it seems like an entirely fair way to deal with your problems is to kick them.
Hey, he's got to walk somewhere, right? He's got big feet. I'm not saying he's going to bloody foul her. I'm just saying he might accidentally step on her, per se, or something otherwise like that.
I have an additional question. Are you holding a pint there?
No, I'm professional. I don't do around with the devil's poison there. I'm a milk drinker.
Right. So it's been great speaking to you, Mr. Kane, but I have one final question. Do you have any final words, any remarks you'd like to make for the rest of the league?
Yeah, you know what, Mick, actually, I reckon the rest of the league should be looking out for these little men. You know, we've got some big players in our little pockets, and Mr. Steinway especially, I think he's going to feel them. And in fact, if he's not careful, I'll have Mrs. Steinway feel a bit of my big play in her big flock. How about that, eh?
Well, that was highly disturbing, but thank you for that. We'll go back to the studio now.
I love hobgoblins. I love them. I'd fucking silly if I had one.
I think we've heard quite enough from that thing. And let us go live now to the start of the second half. Keith, the Demons are on the back foot, and the Halflings look like they're going to run away with this game like they did with my money. Tell us how the start of the half is looking for the teams.
Meg, I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. It's just very noisy down here. Seems as though there's some sort of ethereal howling echoing through the stadium. I've gotten a translator just off to the side, and he's trying to decipher the source of the howl. Apparently it could be... the original source could relate to somebody called Dixon Farnsworth, who's apparently having parental disappointment just hurtled at him off onto the sidelines. I honestly do not know what is happening at the moment, Mick.
Well, Keith, you should be familiar with parental disappointment. From up here in the commentary box, though, it looks like the Demons are running widths of the pitch, Keith. Can you elaborate on what's going on?
Mick, the Daemons of Khorne appear to be attempting to avoid the Halflings' treemen, making very little progress up the pitch as they do. Being two men down, though, they need to... Being two women down, though, they're going to have to think of something if they want to start making progression towards the end zone.
Well, Keith, those treemen are a force to be reckoned with, so this tactic may seem a little bit flawed, but if the Demons stick with it, they may be able to make some progress up the field and score that vital touchdown that they need to score a draw.
Mick, it appears that the L.E.A.I. Captain Karen has just attempted to drive herself through the Halfling defense, only to be knocked to the ground by a treeman.
Well, I guess when you're a rage-filled demon, taking good tactical advice kind of goes out the window. That will certainly put a wrench in the works for the Demons. Can you see any way that they can claw a touchback back now the ball is loose, Keith?
Honestly, no, Mick. I can't. The Halflings are beginning to surround the other members of the L.E.A.I. and are preventing any real progress from being made up the pitch. It's looking like we could have a very difficult second half for the Demons.
I know I joked earlier about the greasy little Halflings, but my god, they're like me at the orgy last week. They're just slipping through everyone. Keith, I'm being told it's absolute pandemonium down there on the pitch. From the box, I can see nothing but the swing of branches and curly hair and the stomping of little halfling feet.
Mick, it seems another on-field scuffle has broken out. Karen again attempting to break through the treeman to no avail. Several members of each team have been knocked to the floor. And oh my goodness, the ref is in the middle of it all now, trying to bring order to the situation. But he just can't be heard. The howling is still going off, and it's blocking out all sound on the pitch. Okay, it looks like order is finally being restored, but it seems Halfling number 7 is going to be sent off for apparently accidentally shinning the ref.
Well, ladies and gents, I think with that horrendous, beautiful, weirdly beautiful display of violence and lack of sportsmanship, this game is over. With the first league win of the season going to the Underground Half Pints. Now, I'm being told by officials that the ball ended up in the hands of a treeman, and there is absolutely no chance of getting it back as it's very much wedged in his upper branches. What are your thoughts on the game, Keith?
Well, we've said it before, and I'll continue to say it. Stunties are never a dull affair. Those little bastards can really catch you out if you don't properly prepare your team for them. And I think here today we've seen a great example of that, Mick.
Well, Keith, I'm just being told that we don't actually have enough money to get another ball, so you're gonna have to go and get that one back for us.
But Mick, didn't you just say it was impossible to get the ball back from the treeman?
Keith, I'm just telling you what the guys upstairs are telling me. Apparently, yeah, they say at this point you're more expendable than the ball, so it's a risk they're willing to take.
I didn't think there was anyone higher than you in the news firm, Mick. But okay, well, I hope I'm being paid extra for this.
That is hilarious, Keith. We all know there's no room in the budget to pay you. Anyway, join us next week, ladies and gents, for round 2 of the Spooky Skull Cup, and don't forget to enter our competition to win this beautiful, that's a stretch, year 2000 model Toyota Corolla.
Mick, that looks an awful lot like my car.
That's great, Keith. And with that, it's a goodbye from me and everyone here at the studio. We'll see you again real soon.
I just paid off the insurance. I've had all the bodywork redone and everything.